see it. Beaver's back on the track. At the wall. See ya. He's done it again. His 53rd home run.
It's coming around. Shohei golfs one to right center field. Headed for the pool. Splash! 54 his first year with the Dodgers. 54 his second year. Trout swings and that one's going to go! He did it! He did it! Number 400 for Mike Trout! Another entry on the already complete Hall of Fame resume for one of the greatest players in the history of the sport.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the last and final episode of On the Clock Baseball. Later on this week, we will be launching the Strike 4 podcast. That's what this is going to turn into. I am joined for the last time by special guest Dakota Esary, who on Strike 4 will become a permanent co-host. Dakota, how are you doing?
Oh, Brandon, I'm good, brother. Just so full of baseball and fall vibes. We got a lot to talk about, but man, oh man, life's good, brother. Can't really complain too much.
Dude, this World Series was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Before we get into it, I do want to shout out the Japan Climax Series. Congratulations to the SoftBank Hawks. They took down my Hanshin Tigers in their version of the World Series, so congratulations to them. We'll get more into the NPB stuff on the new podcast. We're going to cover a little bit of everything on that pod, but we're here today to talk about the World Series. Dakota, I know your lady is a Dodgers fan. Her family are Dodgers fans. What's the initial reaction going on over there?
Just pure joy, just childlike joy. The reason why we all watch baseball, brother, like, you know, being a Mariners fan was watching this game. I just kept looking over and her family. I was like, this feels just like my Mariners experience. Live and die by the home run. Pitching was touch and go, but just an amazing opportunity to sit back and watch what I think, Brandon, might be the best game on like baseball World Series period that we've seen in at least 10 years.
Yeah. I look back at this and I go, this might be the most pure World Series that I've seen in my lifetime. And my team has won 4 championships in my lifetime, and I would put this above that. This was just pure, as a baseball fan, this was pure, like everything that you want out of a World Series in these 7 games. It's absolutely crazy. Let's break it down, shall we?
Yeah.
So to me, this came in, the Blue Jays eliminated your Mariners. And I said it from the beginning. This was the Dodgers World Series to take or to lose until they lost it.
Right.
And going into Game 7, even when the Blue Jays were up, I was like, the Dodgers are winning this thing. There was never, like, in my mind, I'm like, the Dodgers are going to pull this off somehow because that's what they do. Like, there was never an ounce of like thought in my brain of like, oh, the Blue Jays are going to win the World Series. I'm like, it's going to be the Dodgers. My wife asked me a couple of times throughout the game, like, so are the Blue Jays winning this thing? And I'm like, I don't like, it wasn't so, but it was I think it was like the closest thing that you could have got to a Dodgers defeat, because Game 1, we'll start there. The Blue Jays come in, and, everyone's saying, oh, Dodgers in 4, Dodgers in 5 at most. And the Blue Jays are just going to roll over and die. And the Blue Jays came out with a statement, put up huge numbers in Game 1, basically said, hey, hold on a minute. We are not going to be that easy for you to beat. What were your thoughts on Game 1?
BTA, belt to ass, is what I had to say. Yeah. Game 1. They were like, hey, yo, this is not how, I don't want to speak fully on behalf of Dodger Nation, but I feel like this is a pretty easy thing for me to cast out here. There's like obviously different like segments and sections of like a fan base where one part of the fan base is like, well, we should just win or sweep out because we're the Dodgers. And then another part of the fan base is like, well, I just want to win regardless. And I felt like we truly saw that like clash happen after Game 1, because they were like, how are we supposed to react to this like drubbing that we got in game one. Because if my memory serves correctly, it was 5-6 run difference in game one. It was not remotely close whatsoever.
Yeah, and it's tough to really psychoanalyze it a week old now at this point, because this has been such a long 7 games with some off days sprinkled in. But then Yoshinobu Yamamoto responds in game 2 with his second complete game of the postseason, second in a row. And to me, that was kind of like him saying, like, to the Blue Jays, they like you said, belt the ass game 1. Yamamoto comes in and is like, do you know who the fuck we are?
Yeah.
We're the fucking Dodgers. This isn't going to be easy for you guys either. Thoughts on Yamamoto's second complete game performance in a row?
We'll talk a lot about this dude throughout the course of this podcast today, I have a feeling. He kind of was, how do I want to phrase this? When Yamamoto came over, a lot of questions about size, durability. How is he going to be able, post up? We'll talk more about this with the guys coming across over too from the from the Japanese league over here. But it's like, how is he going to adjust? And he was like, look, I have the nastiest 6-pitch combo mix that I can throw whenever the hell I want, wherever I want. You ain't going to do a thing about it. If you get lucky and hit a ball, God bless you. But Yamamoto was like, hey, dude, like, I'm a better pitcher than Shohei Ohtani. I will say that fully with my chest right now. Current today, Yamamoto is better than Shohei Ohtani pitching-wise, but that's as far as it goes. But game 2 was like the first taste and like a little peek through a little like the little eyeglass things inside of in our doors right at home. We like peek through the glass and like you got that flash of like, what the hell was that? And that was Yamamoto in game 2.
So I look at Yamamoto, and I know a lot more about Yamamoto than I think the average MLB fan. Obviously being a fan of the NPB, watched him over there, played alongside Masataka Yoshida, who's on the Red Sox. He was a guy that I was campaigning for the Red Sox to go and get hard in free agency. Obviously, he signed with the Dodgers, and biggest pitching contract ever at the time. And a lot of people were saying, why are you giving this guy that much money when he's never thrown a pitch in the big leagues? And a lot of people don't realize he won, I think it was 2 or 3 straight Sawamura Awards in Japan, which is the equivalent of their Cy Young. It's like, that's why you give him that kind of money, because he's a pitcher, regardless of the league. It's the same back in the day when people tried to say Negro leagues couldn't stand up to MLB. A professional baseball league is a professional baseball league. They're playing at the highest level in their country. And, it doesn't always translate, but with the right guys, it translates. With Yamamoto, it absolutely does. We saw that here in this World Series and all playoff season long. And then game 3, we go to Dodger Stadium and 18 innings of cinema, just pure cinema. Freddie Freeman walks it off, says, "This is our house." Initial thoughts on that?
First of all, for all the people, however many stayed for the entirety of the 18 innings, apologies to your asses. Like, if you were in a sports bar and you're on a wooden chair, God bless your tailbone for the next day. Right? But dude, 18 innings I've experienced this. Now the whole country has. It's a beautiful thing. It sucks. I went to the bed in 15th inning, full-blown transparency. I tapped at 15. I had to work it the next morning. But when I woke up and saw Freddie Freeman hits a home run to center field, I'm like, of course it's Freddie freaking Freeman. Of course it's Freddie. Like, just what Freddie does.
Yeah, I think, as cinematic as that game was, and, Yamamoto, who we'll talk about even more throughout this analysis of the World Series, also offered to come into this game. He was warming up. He was going to pitch the 19th if it went that far. So, like, yeah. which is absolutely crazy. But I look at this, like, it did expose some problems that the Dodgers have, and really a lot of baseball, where when you live and die by just the home run, stuff like this can happen. And, it didn't matter for the Dodgers ultimately, because they won the whole fucking thing. But it does expose a larger problem, which I'm sure we'll get into this offseason. But as far as I'm concerned, game 3 was like pure baseball cinema.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was 100% hooked from the get-go. Then I think after game 3, there's a lot of people that are going, Dodgers in 5. It's over. Dodgers are going to wipe the floor, get it at home. And the Blue Jays once again say, hold on a minute. we tried to tell you it's not going to be that easy. They take Game 4 at Dodger Stadium. What were your thoughts on Game 4?
Just a tug of war, man, back and forth. No, ultimately the result was what the result was. But at the, when you look at this, kind of laid the blueprint of how the rest of this whole series was going to go. Nothing easy, nothing cheap, and you better fight your ass off for it and want it more than I do.
Yep. And then the Blue Jays take Game 5 on the road as well, go up in the series 3-2. What's your thoughts on Game 5?
Dodgers fans' throats were in their stomachs. Living with one was, experiencing that roller coaster is always an entertaining thing. But that was just like, how are we supposed to feel? It was like, how are we supposed to feel? It's kind of aside for panic, obviously, because when your team is on the verge of losing in a possible Game 6, where its back is to the wall, you have nowhere to go. It's, the true testament of what is your foundation, your team chemistry, and your managerial as well. So,
yeah. So then, of course, Game 6, Yamamoto comes back out and says, "Hey, I thought I fucking told you guys in Game 2, we're the fucking Dodgers, man."
Yeah.
And like Yamamoto, this postseason, insanity, pure insanity.
I don't remember, besides for Randy Johnson, a pitcher, coming out that many times in a World Series and just saying, "I just don't give a fuck. Give me the ball." Like, well, we're getting here into Game 7, and I'll give like a little teaser that I loved, because they asked at the end of that thing, they're like, "Hey, when did you know through translator? When did you know you were going to be able to pitch?" He goes, "I didn't know until I could pick up the baseball." I was like, this dude is a legit samurai fucking warrior.
Dude, Yamamoto is something else.
Crazy.
So the series tied at 3.
Yeah.
We go into Game 7, and I'm like, I know it's going to be a dogfight. Could not have anticipated what happened.
Max Scherzer, Ohtani, the whole script is written.
Bichette hits that 3-run bomb, and I'm like, okay, that's cute. That's gonna, that sets a bar for the Dodgers to pass.
Can we step on that for a second? The decision from Dave Roberts to intentionally walk Vladdy to get to Bo Bichette is something that is going to be talked about as, like, obviously because they won, is like, wow, that was a great decision. But throughout every Dodger fan that I've ran or talked to and interacted with, they were like, yeah, that was quite literally the most, like, I want to puke moment of all like the whole season, watching Bo Bichette crank that 442-foot absolute banger of a dinger, bro. I think it was crazy cranked.
So one thing that does get overlooked in this series, and obviously because the Dodgers won, is that the Blue Jays did take it to Shohei Ohtani a little bit.
Oh yeah,
he did not look comfortable. I think that felt like revenge for them for not signing with them in the whole airplane debacle a few years ago. So the Blue Jays did, in a sense, get some revenge. Obviously, they didn't win, which just rubs salt in the wound, but at least they got a little bit of revenge. And then the Dodgers start chipping away. But it seemed like the Dodgers would chip away, the Blue Jays got their run back. And then we go to the bottom of the top of the 9th inning. And it's 3-4 at that point. Max Muncy had hit that big home run an inning or two earlier. And I'm looking at this going, Shohei's going to get his revenge plot. I was not expecting Miguel fucking Rojas.
Right, because they were 8-9-1 in the batting order at that current time.
And that's where I can't say, and I see a lot of people say this, I can't say that the Blue Jays choked. Because that was an absolute battle with Miguel Rojas that was just lost on the part of the Blue Jays.
I mean, that was a terrible pitch by Jeff Hoffman.
It was.
What
do you expect with Jeff Hoffman? I mean, he's been good this postseason, but like this is typical of what he is. And I'm surprised that they brought him in. Honestly, I would have closed it out with somebody else.
Who? I mean, Varland was already used. I mean, Sir Anthony Dominguez had as many earned runs as he did walks and strikeouts. Like the two were not very good.
I honestly, this might be controversial. I would have let you Savage ride
Yeah.
a little longer.
I agree with that. Especially after the previous outing he was coming off of. I mean, granted, he didn't have the splitter, Brandon. He didn't. He had a fastball and like a little bit of a slider, but everything was kind of hanging and stuff like that. But that decision, man, to walk Vladdy to get to Bo, and then Max Muncy responds. We get to the 9th and fucking 3-2 count. Miguel Rojas, who, fun fact, hadn't had a hit in a literal calendar month. Damn.
Has 2 in this game. Or was it 2 or 3 in this game?
2.
One of them's huge home run in the 9th. And that was when I was like, yep, here we go.
Yep.
So what were your thoughts on the Rojas home run?
It was the most Chris Taylor, Kike Hernandez-esque Dodger moment that you're gonna you could possibly ask for, predict. Awesome moment for Rojas. I mean, the dude didn't really get that many opportunities, but that just kind of speaks to the Dodger culture that, hey, dude, like if we're gonna call on you, it's because we have the absolute the utmost faith, which of course Dave Roberts said like he's supposed to say and he's going to because they just won the World fucking Series. But dude's a stud, man. Dude played good defense. The throw to home plate that he double clutched, and literally the Blue Jays were like that far away, maybe even less, for winning a World Series. Fucking cinema, just unbelievable.
So that, I mean, the 9th inning is really where this game starts to get interesting for these next couple innings, because he hits that home run, what you just mentioned. But what I thought was like crazy is, Blue Jays load the bases in the 9th inning. And here comes Yamamoto, and he's got the look in his eye of like a parent who has to scold a kid for the 2nd time in 2 days. And he's like, bitch, I just thought we had this conversation yesterday. And he comes in.
He looked disgusted.
He comes in with 1 out and gets out of it. And that the decision to bring in Andy Pages can't get overlooked either, because of that catch he made where he basically plowed Kike Hernandez over.
Yeah. Kike Hernandez got taken to the dry cleaner.
I don't think Tommy Edman makes that catch. And I don't
think
Kike does either.
So
there's 2 instances right there where the game is over if plays aren't made. With Rojas's throw, with Pages' catch, Blue Jays win it if either of those things goes the other way. And it just doesn't happen. And then Yamamoto just shoves it out on fumes.
Right. Also, to be noted, the pick from Freddie Freeman with the shitty ass throw from Ohtani that would have went up the line and easily scored a run.
Yep.
So, Ernie Clement, I cannot believe that fucking guy, man. How many times we talked about Ernie Clement this postseason?
Yeah.
Like when he hit that ball, I was like, oh, it's over. Because the camera angle was like, there is no way. There's nobody in this is, and all of a sudden it was like
Pages came out of nowhere.
Yeah, you remember the Victor Robles catch? The Mariners were playing Houston, and all of a sudden Robles comes out of nowhere and just slides and catches the ball to save the game. Same shit.
Yeah. Pages came out of nowhere, and Ernie Clement will give him his flowers. I mean, most most hits in a single postseason now with 30, would have been 31 on that play.
Yeah, but, he beat Randy Rosarena, had the previous record.
Yep, which is crazy. A guy named Ernie Clement. It got a guy with the name out of the fucking 50s. Like, where did this guy come from?
It's so true. I never thought about that. Yeah, you're Ernie Clement. You're born in the 50s.
Yeah, like where did this guy come from? Because he's, again, he's on the losing side of things. But wow. So then Yamamoto on fumes, has to be on pure adrenaline.
Yeah.
Shoves 2 2/3 innings. Just shoves it out.
On 1 day rest?
On not even 24 hours rest.
Yeah.
Or just over 24 hours rest, barely. Barely 24 hours rest. Just shoves it out. Will Smith clocks one.
Of course, there's Will Smith. It's the most It's like the most Dodger thing. Will Smith, who hit 300 plus, led catchers in batting average this year, who was obviously shadowed because of the season for Cal Raleigh, steps up in the biggest fucking moment possible and says, "Hold my beer."
Mm-hmm. Now, I'll go back to something that I remember Ohtani talking about when he first signed with the Dodgers. He made it very clear that he wants to win 10 rings in 10 years. That is Ohtani's goal. I don't know that they do that, but I also don't I don't know what's stopping them from doing that at this point. Like, logically, I have to say it's not going to happen. But if we woke up a decade from now and you told me that it happened, I wouldn't be that surprised either.
I was reading some quick news. There was Jeff Passan is writing an article on Yamamoto that we're talking about it. The speculation that there might be an imaging on Yamamoto's arm.
It wouldn't surprise me after last night.
Yeah. So just something on. I don't have to interrupt. I just read that. I was like, oh shit. Like,
We will keep. I mean,
I'll keep an eye on it.
Off
But
season,
yeah.
we'll keep you updated as that story develops. But like again, logically, I don't think they're going to win 10 straight. But it wouldn't surprise me if we woke up in 10 years and you told me it happened.
right. I mean, you look at what they have, man. Like the contracts are locked into. Snell, Glasnow, Ohtani, Yamamoto, the dudes. It's just there's nowhere to go.
Well, the way that I look at that is two things, two points here. One, who's going to stop them from doing that? Because the Blue Jays, who were the best team in the American League, took them pretty much as close as you can to elimination, and it didn't happen. Like that was the closest that you can take a team to elimination within 1 out of, if they'd gotten one more out before the home run. Like, they were that close and it didn't happen. They steamrolled the best team in the NL in the Brewers and said, no, this is our league. Get the fuck out of the way. So like, who stops them? Because when I look at the future, and we're going to talk about this more when we do the free agent predictions later this week, but when I look at what the Dodgers are building, they're going to be rolling back a very similar team next year. And then this is a very important thing that we'll really dissect this offseason, but the potential looming of a lockout, the potential looming of the collective bargaining agreement and a potential salary cap, salary floor. If the players don't want it, if Rob Manfred gets his way, it's going to happen. We'll see what happens there. But I think that the Dodgers act as assuming it's going to happen. And for that reason, I assume they are going to spend like madmen this offseason, because this is potentially the last offseason that they can do that, because I can't say for sure that things are going to happen this way, but typically when you set up salary caps and things like that, the contracts that happen prior to these rules are grandfathered in in some way, shape, or form. So any contract that the Dodgers sign prior to this rule being implemented, we have to assume would be grandfathered in some way. That makes me think they're definitely going after Murakami. Definitely, maybe even Kyle Tucker is another guy that they could go after. I mean, I assume the Dodgers are going to spend like madmen this year and make the team even better, because they know the assignment, right? They know that they are the juggernaut, but they also know, they've got a ton of young hands. They've got, Glasnow is still fairly young. Yamamoto is 26. Sasaki is 23. Ohtani, still fairly young at 31, but he's getting up there. Betts and Freeman are getting up there. They're going to, and they've got 2 more years of Betts, 4 more years of Betts, 2 more years of Freeman.
Kershaw
retires. They have to get younger. That's why I look at Murakami specifically, who's going to be 26. That might be a guy that they look to lock up. Kyle Tucker, still going to be 28, 29. I mean, they know the assignment, and they know that they have to build around Ohtani for these next 8 years.
Right.
And yeah, should a salary cap be put in place next year, they can do that from within, because it's almost insane that they spend this way, but then they also develop. right? Like
Mhm.
some of these developed hands that came out in this postseason, like who the fuck are these guys?
I didn't really know who Emmett Sheehan was, honestly.
Emmett Sheehan, what's that kid? The Dean, something.
Oh,
Dean.
yeah, the center fielder kid. Yeah.
He impressed me.
Robleski was really good.
Yep.
I mean, they had guys. I mean, but that's just what. So this is kind of a fun little topic here. I'll kind of put a Cornell notes for people who went to school back then. You know what the legend of Cornell notes was. It's the Dodgers are a draft, develop, and trade team. Always have been, probably always will be. A lot of people, some people might disagree. Well, they signed this guy and they signed that guy. Well, they signed that guy because they're the LA fucking Dodgers. They have as much money as they want to because they're the LA Dodgers and they're co-owned by Magic Goddamn Johnson. Like it's people get mad, like, because like Marianne and I've talked about this too. She's like, well, like, why was like, what's the narrative about Dodgers and stuff like that? And like, why are they viewed this way? And it's like because of money. Well, it's also because not just money, because you're just fucking perennially great. They've been great. They got Mookie. They got Freddie. They got Ohtani. They got Sasaki, Yamamoto, every Snell, Glasnow, every big guy. Like Blake Snell said last night, he was fully transparent. He goes, I don't give a fuck. I want to win a ring. That's why you play this game, is to win a ring. That's what's happening. Players are getting desperate to like, I'll take less money if I go to LA. Like, that's why I wasn't surprised if Kyle Tucker goes to LA, as much as it would absolutely make me cry in a closet like Harry Potter for a month. 9 and 3/4, all over again. Like,
it's a weird time in history because it almost mirrors a century ago with the Yankees and the Murderers Row lineups.
Yeah,
that happened in the 20s through the 30s and early 40s. And people forget, like, you want to talk about Jeter and Posada and Pettit and Rivera with their 5 rings, and Mookie Betts wants to have more rings than Jeter at the end of the day, which he very well might. But Yogi Berra has 10 rings. They weren't consecutive, but it's been done. That's what Ohtani wants. So Ohtani wants 10 rings. Again, I don't know if he gets that. But let's play a little theory here. Knowing that what the Dodgers are building and what they could do this offseason and moving forward.
Sure.
Does Mookie Betts have more rings than Jeter in 4 years when it's all said and done? Jeter had 5. He's at 4 now.
Yes.
So that means the Dodgers would have to win 2 more in the next 4 years.
I believe that's fully obtainable. Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, it's bad for parity of baseball, just based upon the same team. It's like the Kansas City Chiefs and the New England Patriots, the same teams that show up every single year, not to make a cross, sports analogy. But no, I don't. I just look at this core and ask myself, and there's so many dudes like international kids, they're gonna trade for some guy who's like a 4A player. He's gonna show up to LA and he's gonna hit fucking 25, 30 bombs and hit 270. It's just what they do. Like, it's just, they just find ways to maximize guys' upside in ways that other teams struggle to do so. And that's just a credit to them at the end of the day. It's simple as that.
Yeah. I also agree with you. I think Mookie Betts gets at least 6 rings. He needs 2 more to do that. Ohtani, at the end of this 10-year contract, he's got 2 rings right now. How many rings do you think he walks away with?
In 10 years?
In his entire 10-year contract, he's got 2 already.
2.
He's got 8 years left on the deal. How many rings?
I think he wins. Man, I think 3 to 4. Because it's just, saying more than that would just be such an astronomical, like, percentage chance to win that many times with whatever different teams and superstar players have other crazy years like what Cal did this year. We could see that again, and it could, throw a wrench into the plan. So I could see 3 or 4 probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna he'd have to have 4 to get Mookie Betts to 6.
Okay.
So, we've already said that's gonna happen.
Yeah. 4 probably then at that point for that point of the conversation.
Yeah, so I put him at including the two he already has. I'd say he gets about 6 total.
Yeah,
which would be four more over the next 8 years. I could see that, especially early if a lot of them come early in this contract. Because the one thing about Ohtani that some people have brought up, I'm really concerned that when his body starts to wear and tear, it wears and tears fast.
Yes, I agree with that.
Because of what he's doing.
That's why his base running has been limited too lately, if you noticed.
Mm-hmm. So the back end of this contract could get really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they already made up the contract. You and I talked about that. If anybody who wants to know the context of that conversation, please check out the previous podcast. We talked about how the Dodgers literally made $700 million in 24 calendar months.
Well, and that's exactly why I say they keep spending in this year specifically, because all of these contracts that they've got people locked into, they've already made them back.
Mm-hmm.
They've made them back, and they can take any luxury tax hit that's thrown on them next year, that is thrown on them in future years if a salary cap is not implemented, which I don't know if the salary cap gets done, because what a lot of people don't realize is that we already sort of have that in a way with the luxury tax thresholds. It's not a hard salary cap because the teams that want to, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees, can blow right past it, but then they're taxed more. So, but that's also the same kind of cap that keeps the little teams from spending because they don't want the tax hit.
Right.
So we already have a salary cap, and I know that players are, and the players union is like, no hard caps. So I mean, I think that's going to be a very big argument, and I think it's going to be Rob Manfred versus, the players union. And then when Rob Manfred says, well, what about a floor? That's when the owners are going to step up, and the Pirates and the Marlins and the White Sox and the Nationals are going to be like, no, because they don't want to spend. So, like, I don't see a world where that gets done. I think it just results in a long lockout that maybe has some stricter penalties on salary caps, maybe. But again, the Dodgers can afford that.
Right. No, and it's like you said, this is a much, much larger, broad conversation, and we'll tap into in the upcoming shows. Man. Yeah, I don't know. I got to take some time to think on that one, honestly. But the salary cap is such a complex topic.
And we'll probably have a lot of time to talk about it in a year when the lockout inevitably happens, and we're sitting here looking for topics on the podcast. But
can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
Off top the brain. I asked this to myself last night, and I'm curious if you find yourself agreeing or disagreeing. Does Bo Bichette stay in Toronto? For me, the quick answer is hell no. I'm out. You see the interaction with him and Vlade last night?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, I respect you, but I knew you were already walking out the door, but by the time that the last pitch drops. That's kind of what I saw. That's my personal thing. I could be wrong. If you disagree with us, comment down below in the comment section. Let us know what you think. But I mean, I just don't see it, brother. He does not. They offered him 2 different contract extensions. He's turned them down, both of them. After they signed Santander and extended Vladdy and brought in Max Scherzer, they brought in Shane Bieber. They did everything they were supposed to do, and he still wouldn't take their money. That's why I say no. I literally think he is a Dodger next year. I do.
Okay. See, I don't know.
Or a Baltimore Oriole.
I don't know where he goes necessarily. Dodgers is possible, but I see them wanting Murakami more. I do like him on the Red Sox, especially if Bregman walks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. He'd have to play third, though.
He could play second. Meyer could slide over to third.
Yeah. It's just a fun topic because he had a great series. He's going to make a lot of money.
He does fit the mold of what John Henry is looking for, is to sign younger players to long-term deals. That was, from all of my sources are telling me that was going to be the play this offseason with Vlad, but then Vlad extended.
Gotcha.
But my sources are telling me that the Red Sox were preparing to make a play at Vlad this offseason because he's just going to be 26. Bo is going to be what, 26, 27.
Yeah, no,
So
they're the same age. Yeah,
he fits that same mold of what the Red Sox need: right-handed bat that's on the good side of 30 for at least 3-4 more years. I could see them maybe going after him if John Henry wants to pick up the checkbook. Otherwise, Dodgers, I could see. Astros could make a play at him. I know they have not been happy with Altuve's production lately at second base. Your
and he's like
Mariners,
30.
your
Yeah,
Mariners could use him, but they don't spend.
that's the thing too. Like Bo Bichette, he's gonna hit wherever he goes. He's gonna hit the ball.
Mhm.
He's hit the ball his whole fucking career. I love the dude's swing. I think he's got one of the prettiest swings in baseball when everything's lined up on it. He just strikes me so much of like a New York Yankee, Baltimore Oriole. He does. Like he could go to Philly.
Especially if he's willing to play third.
Yeah, he's not playing shortstop. It's not fucking happening. No.
He's either, I see him more as a second baseman, but if he's willing to play third, I could also see the Cubs.
I mean, at this point, we've listed like what? I mean, every team in baseball is going to be like, hey, Bo Bichette, you want, it's all baseball. It's going to be the length. This is going to be another Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, Trevor Story, Chris Bryant conversation of how many years?
Tigers also have holes potentially at second and third if Torres walks.
So, well, we're on the topic of guys. Can we just give a serious tip of the cap to Vladdy? We haven't taken up. My God. Like, that home run that ball to center field should have been gone. It should have. It was exit velo was 102. Like, it's there. It's just that dude literally loves the city of Toronto in a way. People are, if you're a Blue Jays fan, I'm really not trying to be pissed you off. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. I never believed it. I was like, why would he want to be in fucking Toronto?
I think it's because he was born there. Yeah. He's got dual citizenship with the Dominican
Republic. And his dad was a Montreal Expo, wasn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
His dad's got huge ties to the city. I think it's just a pride thing. And that's where I could see a world where maybe the money's not right and Bichette does go back just because him and Vladdy are so close. But there's going to be a lot of options out there for Bichette, so I do ultimately think that Bichette walks.
I agree.
But I do think, and again, we'll touch on this more because we're going to do a full breakdown free agent prediction pod in a couple of days here. But I do think that the narrative around Toronto has now changed. They came within 2 outs of a World Series, and I think that for the first time in a long time, players are going to be more than willing to take their money, which has been a struggle the last several years. They took a shot at Ohtani. They wanted to spend the money, but they haven't been able to get players to take it. Kind of similarly to what the Giants were struggling with.
Absolutely. Great comparison.
I think that changes this offseason. I think some of the bigger name free agents are going to consider Toronto, knowing how close they came, and that maybe with a couple of tweaks to this roster, they could overpower the Dodgers. That's why I think.
Yeah.
And we're going to cover this topic very, very early on in the next pod, so I will give you a spoiler alert. I do think that the Toronto Blue Jays are going to be in big on Kyle Tucker. I think he fits that lineup really well, and if they want someone to take that money to be the left-handed complement to Vlad, I think they might be like a sleeper team on Kyle Tucker.
I am going to say this with absolute clear distinction. If Kyle Tucker is not a fucking Seattle Mariner by the time spring training rolls around, and even worse, if he is a fucking Toronto Blue Jay, I am going to explode. He is my dream. He is my king. He is my prince. I have put all my eggs in his basket. I've done it since you and I talked about free agency, like the trade deadline, man. Kyle Tucker's my dude. And I just...
The only reason why I don't see him on your Mariners is because they don't seem to want to spend.
Yeah.
If the Mariners would their wallets, I could totally see it because he fits holes that you guys desperately need.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's like, and again, we'll get into this more, but it's like, where else does he go? I don't think the Cubs want to re-sign him.
I agree.
Which
makes no sense.
To me, it's like
whatever.
He doesn't really fit the Red Sox because they already have overabundance of outfielders. So it's like,
really? What if they're like
Philly,
the comments about Bryce Harper are legit? You know, they pissed. I don't know if you saw that, but Dave Dombrowski opened his big fat mouth to piss Bryce Harper off to holy hell.
Yeah. Philly, depending on what happens with Harper,
Padres
be a fit. Padres again. I worry about
they locked up Tatis, Machado. That's a lot of money already, and I
worry about the Padres want to spend a ton of money right now.
Yeah.
So it's like it's Yankees, Dodgers, Blue Jays are the ones that really want to spend the money. So like,
can I offer one suggestion? And I'll try to say this without
maybe
physically
Giants?
being sick.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say this, Brandon. I really don't, because I'm like manifesting this, brother, but I got a bad feeling that we're talking about this. Houston
gets him back.
He goes back where he kind of built his roots. I mean, Kyle Tucker was a lot better in Houston than he was with the Cubs, and I can't talk anymore about that. Like literally, I'll be like sick to myself. Man.
I go back to I don't know. Do you watch the MLB The Show live streams when they? So I watch all of those
10 o'clock in the morning or some shit, and I'm at work.
Yep. Yeah. So I watch those, and when they were this past spring when they were doing the franchise stream, when they were talking about like all the new stuff in franchise, and they did a franchise sim to kind of show you how everything works. In their fictional franchise, the Dodgers signed Kyle Tucker to a 7-year deal, and then the next day flipped Hernandez, I think it was, to Houston. So it's like, I was like, if that's a precursor to what could happen, like, not saying that the show is very smart when it comes to these things, because they're typically not. The CPU trade value is usually absolute dog shit.
It's a stimulation.
But I mean, again, I think the Dodgers are going to spend like crazy. And I don't know if that means Tucker. I don't know if that means Murakami, Cease, King. They've got, pickings. Last kind of wild question for me before we get into some free agent predictions next pod. Do you think that there's a world either through trade this offseason or free agency next year where Tarek Skubal is a Dodger?
I believe I like where this is, because I'm gonna take this away a certain path. I believe Tarek Skubal is traded this offseason.
I do too.
I do. You and I sent you the link about that contract report that came out of Detroit that was from their beat writer. 4 years, $80 million. It's fucking pathetic. And it's so unbelievably insulting to Tarek Skubal. There's a lot of conversation. I know it's just like me, like with my homerish ties. There is a large conversation about the Mariners sending an absolute godfather package for Tarek Skubal because he's from Seattle. Be interesting, man. You take Tarek Skubal, you put that lefty in that, and you give him a Kirby, you give him a Durangelo Sanja, the switch pitcher, who's going to be ready next year, and like Harry Ford, another top prospect, another top 100. That gets it done.
Yeah, I think he gets moved, and I think that it becomes very similar to the Glasnow situation a couple of years ago, where whatever team trades for him has a stipulation like contract negotiations now. We're not going to trade for you for a 1-year rental. We want to lock you up. That's why we're trading for you. And I look at that and I could see your Mariners actually maybe wanting to spend on that, because how much the Mariners value pitching, and getting a lefty in there. But I also think teams like the Dodgers, Yankees, Red Sox, Phillies are going to be really aggressive in that market. And I ultimately don't know who gets a package done, but I do think whoever it gets traded to, he also signs a long-term extension within days of the trade. And it might even be a stipulation of the trading package of like where they go to his agent and be like, hey, we're going to trade for him, but we expect a contract. We'll be fair. in the contract, but we don't want this to go to free agency. We want to trade for him because we want to lock him up here. That's
Brandon,
what the Dodgers did with Glasnow. Go ahead.
fun question. Do you know who the agent for Tarek Skubal is?
Is it Boris?
It is. He's not going to sign the extension. It's 0% chance. He's never done it. There's never been a Scott Boras top the line free agent who's been traded or with like a top player with 1 year left and sign an extension. He's never done it.
See, and that's where this gets really, really interesting because I think that he's going to get moved for a premium.
Oh yeah.
But I also don't see a heavy overpay package unless a team knows they can extend him.
The price of a playoff of a full season, if you get a full season from beginning to end of Tarek Skubal and you get another, let's not call it the same kind of level, even though he's literally done it now, 2 years in a row. Let's give 90 or 85% of what we've got from Tarek Skubal this year and next year. That's worth whatever you pay for it for a full season. I don't even give a shit.
Yeah, but I hesitate to wonder. No, and I agree with that sentiment. But I think that there's only a couple of teams that would do that. Like,
agree.
I could see the Dodgers doing it because they just want to win all the time. I could see the Yankees doing it. But
I could see the Padres doing it.
Yep. Outside of like those three teams, I would see teams that want to extend him as well.
Yeah. Well, that's
so
a dream.
This is going to be, this is going to be really interesting offseason. We're going to cover it. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff. Before we wrap this up and kind of give a breakdown of what the new pod is going to be, do you have any final thoughts? Any questions?
Yeah. I got a fun nugget. I didn't tell you about this. I just want to see this is like our fun little segment at the end. It's like we get to like throw something at each other that we did have no conversation about. Did you know that in that game 7 yesterday, there were more viewers on that game than there was the Super Bowl? That's the first time in a decade that's happened. That the MLB is king, Brandon. Finally, they were like, we take this.
And this is why, and again, I want to do a full pod on this at some point. The Dodgers are not bad for baseball. They're exposing things that, again, every single fucking team could be doing. Don't be mad at the Dodgers. Be mad at your shitty ownership. That's where I'm mad at my shitty ownership. Any team could build like the Dodgers built. They just choose not to.
Sure.
So let's talk about Strike 4 for a minute, what people can expect. It's going to be a lot of this. Dakota and I bantering back and forth. We're going to be talking about news across the league, MLB, NPB, KBO, WPBL. Once that gets started, the draft is coming up at some point. We're going to try to cover like all of baseball. Obviously, like we said, the bulk is going to be on MLB because that's what we have the most access to. It's very hard to watch games overseas. I find ways to do it. We'll keep you updated on that as much as we can. Just especially really interesting stuff, especially Japanese and Korean stars that could be coming to MLB. We'll be trying to talk about them earlier than everybody else. WPBL is going to be really interesting to cover because that draft is coming up. And I was it does look like, I don't know if Seattle's getting a team, but Boston's getting a team. So I know who I'll be following just because I'm just going to keep it there because that's easiest. We'll be doing a lot of other coverage. We'll be doing some deep dives into some historical stuff. We'll be doing this, that. We're going to try to have on guests, both other podcasters and players. Just got to reach out and make those happen. We're going to pod for sure. I think we're going to try to do once a week. And then depending on how the interviews stack up and other things, it might get to be more than that.
We would love for it. It's all based upon your guys' response. Like we are here to provide you guys with tidbits, information, behind the scenes, our opinions, our perspective, stuff like that. And your guys' viewers, subscribing, commenting in our videos is absolutely paramount. It's huge. And for all the guys who've been doing it, ladies, gentlemen, kids, everybody who watches, thank you. We really appreciate it. And we're really excited and blessed for this to be able to grow, because this is a dream for Brand and I to be able to try and make this into a media brand that's really, really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep, and the media brand is going to continue. Those who watch the channel from the beginning know that there are other baseball-related podcasts on the channel. Those are all going to continue as well, and this year, get Dakota involved in some of those. Obviously, we have a baseball video game podcast that I've been running out on the channel, podcast about baseball cards, and obviously a podcast about the Negro Leagues. So, tons of different content coming to the channel that we're going to just continue to pump out. Now that I'm moved and settled in, the content will start to come somewhat more of a regular schedule again. And I've got a better setup where I'll be able to provide more content and keep coming at different fun ways to do content for you guys. So like Dakota said, like, subscribe, help us out, help us get to that monetization point so that we can start getting a little bit of scratch for this. And also I want to remind you that we are partnered with W Energy. It's clean burning, it's efficient, it's coffee bean extract. It's absolutely delicious. But if you don't need caffeine, they also have hydration. That's why today we're going to talk about Grandma's Lemonade hydration flavor. Dakota, I don't know if you're a lemonade person, but this is hands down, I think, the best lemonade I've ever had. There's no caffeine in it whatsoever. It's purely hydration, electrolytes, and all that stuff. It's absolutely delicious. Again, you guys can try it for yourself. Go to w.gg, use promo code STRIKE4, get 10% off of your order, tubs, shakers, merch, and all that. Really helps us out, gets us a little bit of scratch, gets you guys something you really like to try. And also, they're doing a promotion right now where you can get a free chef's tub. If you go to the website, put in your order, you got to order at least one thing that you pay for, add the Chef's Choice tub into your cart, use promo code Chef's Choice. It'll take that entire $30 tub off of your cart, or off of your
total.
Off your total. And they've also said that for a limited time, the Chef's Choice is going to feature a flavor that has not yet been debuted. So you will be one of the exclusive people to get to try that tub before anybody else. I've got mine coming. Really excited. Don't know what it is yet. But that's a free 30 servings. That's 30 drinks for free, basically.
Yeah.
30 energy drinks. So go use it. Use our code, use that code. Get 10% off the rest of your order. It's a fun time. Like I said, I've been with him for years. Caffeine addict and someone that needs hydration. They help me out on both of those levels. We're going to talk about different flavors as we talk about them more throughout these shows. But Dakota, do you have any more final thoughts before we get out of here?
Just want to, again, not to be a repetitive person today, I just want to thank all the people that have been watching these videos. We're really trying to encourage people to comment. We have actually just finally got a TikTok for Strike Force, so we'll be getting reels up there. So if you guys want to leave comments, which obviously is a lot easier on that kind of an app, of an interface, please do. Please do. We are seeking the engagement from people. We want to know, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? What do you feel is going to happen? How do you feel the offseason predictions, the free agents, the international signings, the WPBL? What has got you fired up? That's what we want to hear. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it, and we're so blessed to be able to do this going forward.
Comment and let us know, who do you want your team to trade or sign for this offseason? Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.